So welcome, dear colleagues and friends, to our May terminology group coaching. We had to postpone it from the 1st May. That's, I think, almost worldwide holiday. So it's the second Thursday of the month. And I'm here for you. The group is here for you. Rainer just mentioned it. It's not even a month until we start our annual terminology summer school. And the floor is yours. Please ask questions, share good news, share challenges, ask for support, for good news, for inspirations, insights. Please go ahead. Rainer, yes, now you did it. We
Yes.
can see you.
Hi, everyone. Hi.
Hello, hello.
Yes, actually, I have one question about the tools. I mean, IT tools, because now with the coming of ChatGPT,
Yeah,
terminology work will change. I'm
true,
certain of that.
true.
Now the extraction tools, well, they are no match for ChatGPT. I can assure you that. So I think it will be something big in terminology, I think.
True,
So the
true.
question, what's your view? What's your view to date on ChatGPT
Ah,
and the terminology work?
yeah.
Yeah.
Let me give this a question to the group. We discussed several times about the impact. We have an entire day, actually more than one day, dedicated to the topic. And I wanted to ask you, how would you answer, Rainer? That's a very, very current, very interesting and important topic for all of us. What do you think? How is the future development? It's very fast. That's what we see, actually.
Actually, I did some testing with a technical English text. I
Okay.
asked ChatGPT to extract terminology for me and
Yes.
to give and to make sure the engine understands the context. I gave him specific instructions as to the
Yes.
context.
Yes. Hmm.
Gave me rationale, explanation. Why did he choose a certain term? And when I compared that to the term extraction in MemoQ, where I get like thousands of false positives, false candidates,
Yes.
ChatGPT was precise. He was specific. He went just straight to the point. He was just better, more efficient, more performant. Everything was better with ChatGPT. It was so the difference is huge. Really,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's something that will
Very,
change.
very interesting. Um, uh, who else? Can you confirm the experience Rainer just shared with us? So that was really terminology extraction, right? But no
Yes,
translation, it
yes,
was
yes,
term extraction. Very
yes.
interesting. Who want to share? Did you also
I
already?
have
Tanya,
tried
please.
it. Yes,
Yes.
I have tried it for the specific task.
Hmm.
And it's really, really good. It was not good to the next step to find equivalence. Um, but it was very good for um, the first step to give you the terms from a document. It was good.
Interesting. In Greek, in Greek
Yeah.
language. Right. Rainer, for you, which
Mhm.
languages did you
Polish. It was Polish. It was English to Polish, actually.
English to Polish? Okay. Mhm.
But the terms were correct. Gabriel, they were correct. So
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. Who else? Who made experience, good or bad ones, or
May
neutral
I
ones?
ask? Hi,
Of
everyone.
course, Ariana. Hi.
Hi. This is my first meeting, by the way,
Mhm.
so I'm really glad to be here.
Welcome,
I
welcome,
really don't
welcome,
have so
welcome.
many questions yet, but so I wanted to ask Rainer, which industry
yes,
was that? Like, in what industry was ChatGPT so accurate? Because I
Good
don't
it
question.
was
really
building.
have. Sorry.
To be more specific, it's called architectural aluminium systems. Those are
Mm,
systems the manufacturers use to produce windows, doors, facades, skylights and any type of technical constructions that are used in the building industry.
Yeah, that is very, 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 very specific. I wonder, has anyone any other experience with something wider, like automotive or
Camilla is smiling.
Mine was
Yeah.
food.
Food.
Food waste, food loss, and frozen foods, food products.
Okay. Right. Yeah, no, I'm asking mainly because I don't have first-hand access to the feature from ChatGPT to upload files and extract terminology. However, I tested the AI for definition writing, and so far, what I noticed is that Copilot is actually better than ChatGPT. I don't know exactly why, but with the same prompt. Then, of course, they need adjusting, like anything, because you will have to review them, of course. But the basics, I mean, I found less errors with the same terms in the same industry. I found less errors to start with Copilot compared to ChatGPT, and I'm talking about the company local server of both. So
if I'm not mistaken, Copilot comes from Microsoft, and this is based on OpenAI. So it's ChatGPT actually.
I don't understand that. Oh, yes, but they have probably, yeah, I know that. But the problem is that I think either it has more resources or I don't know, because I swear to God, it doesn't provide the same results. And Copilot is just more precise.
Okay.
But if anyone has any other, I work mainly on, let's say, IT, cloud software, that kind of industry. So, not sure.
And which languages, Arianna?
From English. I'm talking about writing definitions, so I usually that's the language I work on all the time.
Yeah. Thank you. Well, Camilla, you were laughing when when Arianna mentioned automotive. So do you have good experience?
Oh, sorry, I was just talking to a colleague. But,
okay.
But yeah, it's a very interesting discussion. It's my first meeting too, so I should maybe introduce myself. I work for the National Terminology Database in Norway, at the University of Bergen. And it's something that we've talked about too. We haven't really made a strategy yet for working with AI, but it's definitely something to think about, I think, for the future.
I look so much forward to meeting you, Camilla, and your two colleagues from University of Bergen.
Yeah,
so that
thank you.
will be. We even, I think it was in Naples, 2023. Yeah, where we had a chat, or last year. I don't remember, but there was also a colleague from Bergen. And I was asking, what if we could do a summer school once in Bergen in Norway?
Oh, yeah.
Why not? So and I I took this as a sign, a symbol when three of you registered. So I thought, oops, maybe really after all these going south, we should go north to Norway. Yeah, let us discuss that in Timisoara. I think it could be very interesting because you're very active, right? The university is very active. You're national, of course. I know this institution since ages. All the Scandinavian countries, they were very active since 25 years at least. I know that there is a lot of things going on terminology-wise on the governmental level, at the governmental level. So. Yeah, this there we can learn a lot from you. You can inspire us, because this, of course, for in particular last year when we went to Georgia, where these, where the national language really needs to be protected, and where people have a great interest of developing the language accordingly. That's why I also was asking about the languages you use for ChatGPT and AI, because I don't know what about you, but I noticed that it was catching up so fast. First, 2 years ago, the English, not even German was very, very good result. But now, actually, it's wonderful when I'm experimenting with German prompts, looking for equivalents or for, very specific, this Austrian German. There are some terms really very specific for small Austria, and when I'm asking AI, of course, feeding it with information and giving examples also, but then how could we translate that into global English for this and that audience, etc. Wow, the results are really, really good and very, profound and the sound basis for really choosing them and even justifying your choice of which translation you're choosing. So yeah, but term extraction, Rainer, thank you for that. This is really highly interesting. So we will ask the tool provider how they will react to that. What do they do to
Well, they
catch
should
up
be
with that?
afraid, Gabrielle. They should be afraid, I think, now, because it's really something.
Yeah. Actually, with this ChatGPT and other AI tools, they incorporated all the machine translation technology available, right? So actually, it is based the quality of AI is actually based on good quality of or increasing quality of machine translation methodology.
Yes.
So I think this is also interesting to bear in mind. But I agree. Now it's getting interesting. Please, Sabine.
Yeah, I think it is not consistent. It can give you one term at one time and a different one later on. So you should provide some whatever database content or knowledge graphs or whatever. So it should go with retrieval augmented generation, and then it gives you quite convincing results. What I tried with I use Perplexity as sort of Google with AI, and I try to define a text from which it should extract terminology and provided some syntactic patterns, so part of speech, and that was really convincing. It was I wrote my master thesis on that ages ago and had a linguistic pipeline, but nowadays you can just say, please give me all those noun and adjective combinations that sound like they could be terms, and that's exactly what it did. It didn't even yield those that were more colloquial, so no real terms. Was very interesting.
Thank you so much, Sabine. Who else is experimenting using AI really already for terminology management, for term extraction, not only for translation? What are you, Beatrice? What about you? Is this within your scope of work and interest?
I'll be honest. I my main work is as a translator and reviser. So I work for the Pan American Health Organization. And we're just starting to look more into terminology and formalize, our terminology work. But right now I'm very, very busy. So all the terminology works was set to the side until June. I can't really do anything.
I understand. Well, but then, you will you will join us at the summer school.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, so we're exploring, software, and we have three or four main languages, the organization languages. So English, Spanish, French, and Portuguese. And we're trying to figure out, but each team works slightly differently. So we're trying to figure out how to adopt a system that makes everyone happy, basically.
Yes, I understand. That's a very, very, very important stage. It's a lot of stakeholder involvement, stakeholder management, finding out who will support you, and harmonizing processes. It's very very crucial. Yeah. So please reach out to us. Also during the summer school, because it's not all technology always is just a tool. It's a mean to go somewhere or to reach something. Yeah, but at the end of the day, it 100% depends on us, on human beings, on the brains. Human in the loop is now this buzzword, So, but I can recommend you. I will put it in the chat because a wonderful colleague, a Swiss colleague, she actually is a doctor, and she made Karin Trieb. Where is the chat? Let me put that, because she will give us a great overview of a Swiss terminology project in healthcare. And I will never forget, she did the ECQA certified terminology manager engineering. And she one of her, when she did her oral presentation, one of her examples that's really so typical. It was just one term and one concept, actually, sepsis. Yeah. So you would say, "Oh, wow, but this is very basic." Yes, sepsis. Lay people as us, as me, understand what a sepsis is. Yeah, but it was so interesting and eye-opening, for the healthcare sector. Beatrice is nodding. Wow, what is behind this term? Which concepts, overlapping concepts, and there is all about safety and security, and it's extremely important to really understand then the concept behind, and also do all the basic terminology work, yeah, but also done on a more sophisticated level. Of course, it multiplies, it's everywhere. Actually, so wow, this is I think you will get inspired by Karen. I got really inspired, and was very, very glad to have her, and that she's so, she's so committed to terminology, and you must be. Otherwise, you will not enjoy, and maybe you will not even uh, be able to cope with all these really, really time-consuming, resource-consuming stages and processes, right? And of course, this is my last comment, yeah, to the stage you are in right now. Please consider the tools last. People, processes, tools. That's my motto from experience, really from 25 years of experience. I saw so many wonderful projects, just failing because people started too early with the tools. But you need the commitment, you need a good team, you need the spirit, a real, a good even enthusiastic team spirit to cope with all the workloads then, and with all the backlashes, and with all the all these tiring work then to do. And if you start too early with the tool, and if you think, usually we do not think that, but superiors and supervisors and managers, they tend to think, oh, super, problem solved. Now we have the tools. Now we have AI. Everything is solved. And of course, we have to respect this layperson attitude, and then try to do our best to educate, to show, to demonstrate that it's not the case, that actually it really depends on humans to come to a consensus which processes are helpful and efficient and effective, and then which tools are most likely to serve people and to be good for the process. Super. What else? Do you want to continue with AI, or shall we go to a different topic? Because Rainer, I promise you, we will have 5 days in Timisoara on site and online to talk about that. And it's really, I look forward also to Valentini. Valentini is a great colleague from Oracle in Athens, and she is the queen of designing prompts. She showed us already last year the difference, really, the difference one word makes, one specification makes in a prompt with respect to the results you get. So that's really also very, very inspiring.
I can easily believe that, because I think with ChatGPT, it's all about refining. It's not always ready, but if you know how to refine it, you can get a really good result.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Rainer, for this first question. Another one, or a comment, or really a...
I have something.
Please.
It's kind of related to both tools and AI, but it's about term extraction.
Yeah.
We're trying to get a term extraction tool at the company where I'm working, but they're so concerned about security and now with AI and everything. So
yeah.
I'm wondering, is there a trend that companies are now trying to develop their own term extraction functions?
Good question.
Because I mean, with AI, I guess it's possible.
Yeah, exactly. What are the Ariana, you're nodding. Are you doing that in-house?
Yeah,
already?
We have our own extraction tool using AI, and Norma Bailey is my colleague at WeLocalize. Actually, she's my mentor.
Oh,
she's the one
what
who
a
introduced
great
me
mentor you have.
Yes.
Congrats, Ariana.
I was chatting to her because she's on a client meeting. She cannot join this month, and she said, "Oh, I could tell plenty about AI and term extraction." We have our own AI enhanced extraction tool. It does the job compared to what currently is, for example, embedded in some TMSs like XTM and so on. Because of course it's not based on frequency. That's the main advantage, let's say.
Yeah.
It still creates a lot of noise. However, for example, in our case, it provides automatically the part of speech, which is not, it's something that you say, okay, how long does it take you to create the part of speech? Yes. However, you already have that. And it gives you more relevant context sentences, which is also something very useful, because unfortunately, not everyone is available to have, hey, I'm going to write you the definitions, you have to sign off and so on. So it's for sure an improvement. And what Norma is working on is fine-tuning the further development of this tool, which should work on bilingual, like extracting both source and target.
So how does it pick up the term candidates? Is it by linguistic rules, or?
It is by, I should take honestly the guides, because I don't remember by heart.
Because I know, for example, Terminologs have this term extraction starter guide, and there it clearly states that term extraction tools can be both based on statistics and on linguistic rules, and the best is to have a tool that have both of these functions.
Yeah, that's for sure, but I am not. I was just trying to retrieve whether there is the insight. I know that it assigns a score, similarly to what XTM does. So the higher the score, the most valid is the term. The more likely is the term to be selected and pertinent to what you're looking for. It doesn't necessarily. I mean, usually it's quite accurate. But again, I'm mainly working on, IT, marketing and so on, and I haven't tested it myself, for example, in more specific, like I'm starting working in life science as well. I haven't tested that yet, life science, so healthcare and so on. But I can look for let's say the background information on how it selects the term and rely on this if anyone is interested.
It's very interesting to hear how others are doing this, and thanks for sharing.
Problem.
Thank you for the question, Christina. Just one comment, because before you joined us, the question of Rainer was about term extraction and AI, because he was experimenting with ChatGPT and term extraction, English and Polish, and that was actually the really promising result. Yeah, Rainer was saying, "Wow!" But actually, it was amazing. The results were very, very. A very specific terminology, highly technical, highly, let's say, highly specific. But of course, that's an interesting news. Just for you as a background.
Yeah,
dear Sabine. Pleasure.
Yeah, if you're interested in a general high-level overview on what approaches and methods there are, I could share something.
Please do so.
Okay.
There is an ISO technical committee just actually launched, or an initiative within this committee where AI tools are collected, I would say, and a little bit assessed, but it's quite, ISO committees, they are not fast. They can't be, because it's all about it's this because Dimitris Moutafis, he will, at the summer school, he will talk about that. It's an ISO ad hoc working group, they call it, Terminology Management and Artificial Intelligence.
It's now a working group 6 that has just changed.
Oh, really?
And I skipped part of their meeting to get into this one.
Sabine, this is really very kind of you.
Today, yeah.
You honor us. Wonderful.
Okay, I just wanted to show you that quick overview we did in also in ISO TC 37 language and terminology in the subcommittee 3 that cares about management of terminology resources, and that was working group 5, terminology extraction, and it doesn't go into the very technical side of things, but it gives an overview and some hint on in what cases what approach might be useful, or so this is one of the figures that are really relevant for a first overview, and I check out whether I find the there's also a table. Check. It's been a while. Now I need to find it. Okay. There it is. I have to put it this way. Okay. So this is the table 1 suitability of terminology extraction methods. And we assessed what kind of approach works best for specific.
Oh my God, this is
parameters.
sorry.
So if you're interested in that standard that has been published in February this year, it's ISO 5078.
ISO 5078.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Sabine, not only for sharing this most interesting and helpful table and information, but also for advocating standardization. You know, our ISO TC 37. Imagine such a number indicates that it's a very old technical committee, right?
Mhm.
And there are a lot of standards. And last year and 2 years ago, also in summer school, I don't know, it was always actually a very, a usual part of summer school to also talk about standards. And then we a little bit maybe overlooked it, or a little bit went to other topics, more translation oriented. But there are, of course, the most prominent ISO standards from ISO TC 37 are about translation services, and the most recent ones about interpretation services. Yeah. So
I think currently the most prominent ones are on plain language.
That's true. That's
they sell
true.
like
yeah, that's
awesome.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very good news, actually. Yeah, plain language. Yeah, we will have at summer school we will have one workshop about inclusive terminology. We will have all kinds of this standards related, and of course, Sabine, we look very much forward to your your workshop, Building Bridges, Terminology Standardization in the Age of Digital Twins and AI. So that will be.
I already told you that AI helped me craft that title.
That's good. That's good. No, great. No, it's really. I know that in the past, many translators and translation, even professors at universities, they were quite reluctant when it came to standardization and ISO committees. So it's like, what? They didn't know anything about it, and I think it's really very important to stress and to discuss, in particular also in our very hands-on terminology group coaching, that there are very relevant standards. It doesn't mean that you have to look at it to buy all of them, right? But to bear in mind that there is always, at this international level, ISO is international, right? That there might be really very practical, hands-on solutions to your problems, right? And you can browse. There is this wonderful open browser at ISO. If you go to iso.org, then you can really browse all the standards. You will find, of course, also some inconsistencies. Of course, there are thousands and 10,000s of standards, of course, available. Imagine all these various subject fields, but for us in terminology, this is really a great thing. And Christian Galinski, he was very active. Actually, without him, we wouldn't be able to use all these great tools at ISO.
Of course, you can't browse everything.
Yes,
but at least the terms and definitions for almost any standard, which is quite helpful. Exactly. And I put the link into the chat.
Thank you so
for
much.
the OBP. So just check it out there.
Yes.
You can search for terms and for standards if you have some number at hand, and then you can look it up.
And Beatrice,
there are some options like exact match and so on. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Sabine. Sorry for interrupting.
Yeah, no problem.
I was excited because I thought of all these relevant standards in healthcare, and health terminology for Beatrice. This is because, when you refer to an ISO standard, it's just not you any longer, not you alone, and it's an ISO standard, and a lot of people actually don't know that that language and terminology has these great ISO committees. So I highly recommend.
And
What
it's
else?
fun. I encourage you to just participate in standardization because it really is fun in ISO. I have some different committees from other standardization organizations where it's hard work, but in ISO, especially in TC37, most of the time it's fun.
Wonderful. Very, very good news. Yeah, it's true. And the process is not difficult. You just have to go to your national standards organization and find the so-called mirror committee of the ISO TC37 committee. And then you just apply with your CV and your small letter of motivation, stating why you think that you're a good fit for being a member of this mirror committee, and then you can go to these annual ISO TC37 meetings. It's always 1 week. Worldwide, they go from. Isn't it Japan this year?
Yes, it is.
Yes,
it is in Takamatsu, and I'm already very interested in going there. Never
of
been.
course. Tanya, I think you also joined, right? Are you?
Yeah, I recently
Yes.
joined a working group of the TC37.
Super.
Maybe we should mention that it depends on what national mirror committee you apply for, whether it's without pay or whether you have to pay something. So I know in Austria you don't need to pay for preparing standards anymore. In Germany we do. We still do.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, true. There was a lot of anger about that in Austria when we had to pay for being a member of a standardization committee, and then they revised it.
So if we would ask, because I mean, if the documents cost, of course. So
yes.
Let's say we would like to buy some of these documents to have at work. Which of them would be the most relevant, do you think, for terminology work, and also to include the latest there with AI?
Yeah. That's a very good question.
It's a
lot
one
already. Yes, a hard one.
Very hard one too. But I personally wouldn't buy any terminology and AI standards so far because it changes. That former ad hoc group that Gabriele mentioned, which is now a working group 6, that is, we now prepare a TR, a technical report, because it's just too early for defining things and have them, in a fixed manner. It's too early. Things change so much. What you know today can absolutely change during the next few weeks, and you never know. So
I understand that.
Yeah, that's very.
It's not easy.
To be honest with you, Christina, I would recommend to browse, to go to ISO, to have a look at which standards are available. They need to be revised every 5 years at the latest, anyhow. So even old standards like the famous one, the basic ones, yeah, terminology principles, or the terminology of terminology, etc. So they are still valid and a very sound basis. It depends on the stage you are. When you are far advanced already, right, then different standards will be interesting for you, such as the tool and tool standards and the data, the data modeling standards when you're advanced. When you're not there, there are great standards even about project management for standardization, which could be again be interesting for Beatrice, right? So these the stage and the process you are currently in really are important to understand which standard to choose. And that's sorry, in a second, that's actually also a good argument to join a standardization committee, because then you get all these working drafts, and then also the more or less the published standard you access for free. It's only your personal copy. You cannot and you must not share it. Why? Because it's really standardization organizations, they live from publishing standards. Otherwise, they need a lot of public money, and then the independence is not so much guaranteed any longer. That's why the reason, and really from a commercial point of view, I would recommend to compare the fees. In Switzerland, of course, the ISO standards are the most expensive. When you go to Spain, I think it's the Spanish Institute is a good advice usually because the fees are lower. But it's one standard. If you buy the English version, that's the original version. So it's one standard. Yeah? It's the same standard, but you can also save money.
I'm a member of Terminorgs, and Hanne, who is the chair there, she's very active in ISO.
Yes.
And in the Terminology Starter Guide, there are a few standards that are recommended. The ISO 704 Terminology Work Principles and Methods.
Yeah.
ISO 860 Terminology Work Harmonization of Concepts and Terms.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then two more, ISO 16642, Computer Applications in Terminology, Terminology Markup Framework. And the last one there, ISO 26162, Design, Implementation, and Maintenance of Management Systems.
Yeah. Mm. There are a lot more. But as I said, it's really, if you go to ISO TC 37, you find all the list of all the published standard, and even the working drafts, etc. And the subcommittees, So
I think it's a pity that they don't state which working group prepared the standards. But the one level higher, they state the subcommittees.
Yes.
But in general, you can browse the ISO TC 37 site and check out what subcommittees and work groups are in place, and then you'll find something that might be interesting to join. Yeah, lots of really interesting projects.
True. Great. So we had AI and we had standards. Standardization is always a very important topic, I think, because we need to spread the word. In particular, when you work in large organizations, there you can be sure that you will find ISO standards implemented, right? Quality management or data security now is very popular now as sustainability standards. So this broad standard, right? And then it's really quite handy to refer to ISO standards and to show that linguistic services and the methodologies, the terminology has a lot of standards. And when you work according to standards, of course, this gives a lot of value to your work and to your own position, because then all of a sudden, wow, there is even an ISO committee, they have ISO standards. So this is a tip really I could give you to the more you can refer, the more you're using also and quoting and citing ISO standards, the better, actually. In particular, when you have to sell a terminology, in your own organization, when you have to raise funds and human resources, etc., when you have to justify your work, etc., then it's wise to include that. Burcu, hello. So good to see you. How you doing? All good? Hello. We're recording anyhow, Burcu. You can later on maybe listen to it. It was very interesting about yes.
ISO TC 37 you are talking about.
Yes, right now.
I know.
we started with a very interesting experience shared by Rainer, who said, wow, but ChatGPT was quite good in term extraction, right? Polish English terms. That was interesting. And from there on, we found our way to also standardization, because I mentioned that there is even that working group now collecting all kinds of AI tools for terminology work and management. What else? We still have 12 minutes. What would you like to ask or share? Yes, 20th interpreter. This sounds also very interesting. Who is this? Which colleague is the 20th interpreter? We can't hear you. You can, of course, you can always write also comments or questions also in the chat, of course, if you want. So what else? Annette, hello, good to see you. What's on your desk in terms of terminology?
I'm quite new to terminology, but we are currently experimenting with term extraction as well.
Topic of the day.
Yes,
very good.
Well, I work for an international company. We care on cybersecurity and IT security. We have brands like AVG, Avast, Norton under one hood.
Wow. Yeah.
And since 1 month or so, we are publishing AI translated knowledge base articles in 7 languages, like Japanese, German, French, Portuguese, and some more, I think Russian. Yes. And
what experience?
And I take care of feeding the AI with the right terminology, adjusting the promptings, and still experimenting somehow, learning by doing.
What are the learnings so far, Annette?
The learning so far is that even though you have a nice prompt and the AI extract nice terms, the next day it fails.
as Sabine pointed out. Yes.
Yes. You cannot rely on it. Maybe we learn some tips and tricks in the summer school. I don't know.
Hopefully,
from the experts in prompting technique. We'll see.
Yeah. What would be your next step then? So you're experimenting, you see that, oops, it's not reliable. Are there already some conclusions, decisions to be made, or is it still in this phase where you just experimenting?
It's still in the experimenting phase because failing, standing up, trying again, changing the prompts.
Yeah. Interesting.
We'll see, but it's quite exciting.
Of course it is. And what was the reaction when you published? You said, if I understood you correctly, you said that you published these articles already, right? In the 7.
Yes, we have knowledge base articles outside for our customers.
And what was the reaction? What the feedback from customers?
To be honest, I don't know, because I'm the language quality manager for Asia Pacific region usually.
Yes.
And originally I'm a Japanologist, so I speak Japanese. And I don't have any information about feedback from our customers, but one day when I have enough time, I will check.
Yes, too. So that's actually where we learn most, right? When we that's also the reason why this feedback. How do you gather feedback? And then positive and negative, of course, and then how do you deal with negative feedback? Right,
Yeah.
because there we learn most actually. Yeah. When we really evaluate and when we enter this dialogue and discussions with customers, this is actually the best way, yeah, to really improve quality.
Thank you.
Super. Thank you so much, Annette. What else? 7 minutes left.
May I share with you that we have been translating the plain language ISO standard to Greek with the Mirror Greek committee. And it's not easy.
Of course
Plain
not.
language is not easy.
What was in particular not easy? And what was easy? Maybe we start
I think the more technical, the easier. Basically.
Yeah.
So
yes.
When you are trying to define something and give instructions to speakers of other languages, for example, that are going to use it, and it has to be plain, you cannot use the words that you are used to using when talking and explaining this subject. So you have to take it down, be clear, understandable, and with easy words, but still be not everyday language.
Yeah.
So the balance is really hard to find.
Yeah. Actually, it's a translation, right? Yeah, Sabine. I mean, in the from one language to the other, from one Greek language to the other Greek language. That's what I wanted to say. Yeah, Sabine, please.
I put something in the chat.
Thank you.
Within DIN, we recently published a spec that is no real international standard. It's a pre-official phase, so to say. So it is getting checked after 3 years, can be confirmed for another 3 years, and after that it either becomes an official standard or just gets cancelled. That is the DIN spec 91526, knowledge graphs for language models and language models for knowledge graphs. And I just found out that the service is unavailable anyway. I put the link in here, and after registration, if you're not yet registered for DIN, you can download all the specs for free. And it might be quite useful. It's very technical. There have been a lot of AI experts involved, and I cared about the terms and definitions part, and defined with those experts what exactly had to get into the terms and definitions. And lots of people are really interested in this, I found. Yeah. And then something which might be a bit off topic, but in general, a colleague presented something, and there was a slide on MCP, which is the Model Context Protocol. This context model protocol is from Anthropic. They were trying to align their model with other language and general all kinds of AI models. It's open source, and it has become something like an open source connector for all kinds of AI resources. I think it's a very valuable concept because you're not you don't need to rely on just one AI anymore. You can once you implement this, you can use all kinds of resources. But I'm not the technical kind of person that really understands what's going on there. But I think it's going to be very relevant because it makes accessible lots of resources, especially in industrial AI. But not only there. It's a connector.
Wow, that sounds very interesting also, Sabine. Thank you so much.
Put it in here.
What else, dear colleagues? Are you happy? For those in particular who were joining us for the first time, what do you think about our terminology group coaching? Was it interesting for you? Did you like it? Are you considering to bring your own topics and questions to the table next time? Please, a little bit of feedback.
I'm sorry for the background noise, but I have to rush.
Okay.
But I wanted to stay until the end, so I'm on my phone. I am very, very happy to join after. I mean, as I said, I've learned mainly on the job from Norma.
Yeah.
And she said, well, it's about time. Maybe you could try. And as far as for bringing the topics, I'm not sure. But I hope I'll be more active on next sessions.
Super. I think you were very active this time, Arianna. Thank you very much. We enjoyed.
Well, I'm Italian. That's the basics.
That's good. That's wonderful. We have to discuss. Thank you ever so much, Arianna. I look very much forward to our next e-meetings and group coaching. Camilla and Beatrice, I've seen you already in the group coaching, right? It's not your first time.
No, it's my first time.
It is your first time. Oh,
Yeah.
So what's your opinion?
I
Was
mean,
it
it's been
helpful?
great. Yeah, it's a lot of things to look at later. I'm writing some things down and saving some of the links and all that. Yeah, I hope, as I said, right now I don't really have time to think about terminology, but I hope in a few months' time I'll be able to get more into it and then bring questions and ask for feedback. But I'm definitely planning to come to the next session. Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much, Beatrice. What about you, Camilla? Did you also find it useful?
Yeah, it was really interesting. And it's interesting to see that you all have very different like work situations and linguistic backgrounds. And as far as bringing something, I'm still pretty new as a terminologist. I only started this job in January this year.
Wow.
So I think once we get more into like strategy, we're planning our strategy at the end of May for like the next year. So maybe at that point I can bring in more experiences, but yeah.
Thank you so much. It's really also about asking. Please don't be shy. Yeah. Ask questions. There are no stupid questions because the main pitfalls in terminology, work and management are the most basic things. Like I'm really repeating, please bear in mind people, processes, tool. This is very basic. This is trivial even, but I can tell you it's really important to remind us all. Yeah, because otherwise you have way more. You're wasting time and you have way more effort than to fix things. Like in good positive communication. Yeah, it always starts with resonance, getting in resonance with other people. right? Being empathic, not, rushing or wanting to impose your opinion, just listening and just being friendly and kind. And then when you invest time in this personal relationship, and this is the advantage of our colleagues in the south, you go to Italy and the relationship is important, or to Greece, and in more north or in the German speaking countries, and then Scandinavia, we are sometimes a bit too fast, too straightforward, focused on the issue, the problem, But this is not a good basis actually for building a sound basis for good projects, right? And good terminology work and good teams, all these terminology circles then we establish, and we need that. We need that to really make terminology work and management sustainable, right? So when one person retires, I've seen that in the past a lot of time. Even in large organizations at governmental level, there was this one terminologist. Usually it was a woman. Isolated, sitting in her small room and doing terminology work. Nobody knew about her, or they thought, oh, what a weird person. Nobody used her tools. It was very frustrating, of course, for her. And then when she quit, when she retired, then the post also, the position was deleted, right? So, and I think this really changed now. And our networks and our summer schools, the main purpose is to connect us, to get into that global dialogue and to inspire us to support each other. And the beauty is, as Camilla said, actually, that it's so different, in many fields of application and different organizations. However, the basic, things are always the same. And this is also very much confirming and inspiring, right? And this actually is the people processes tool approach. So, my dear colleagues, that was a very, very, very nice a terminology group coaching today. Thank you so much. I'm happy that we had the newcomers joining us for the first time, and I look very much forward to the next one. Dear Burcu, you raised your hand. I have to check when the next group coaching.
Just want to comment that
please.
It's actually a wish that the terminology summer school should not take place once a year. In fact, at least twice a year, in my opinion.
True.
In winter, it's also nice to visit some places. I know it's a hybrid event, which is an advantage to many, but for those who can join in on site, it's a good opportunity to discover the beauties of a countries that they're visiting, maybe for the first time. So I would suggest that terminology summer school should also have a terminology winter school.
Very true. Yes. I'm strongly supporting you, Burcu. Thank you so much, dear colleagues. I will also send out then the link of the recordings of today's meeting too. And you can of course also spread the word and invite colleagues to join us. So thank you very much. See you soon. See you next month. Bye. All the best. Bye. Bye.